November 4, 2025. This is the date of the last video that I posted before this one. And in this video, I want to give you a little explanation why it took so long for me to post a new video, and also to give you my personal history, where I come from and how I got here. So let's start. So my name is Ricardo Carvalho. I come originally from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I was born there in July 1977. Yes, you don't need to make the calculation. I'm about 49 years old if you're watching this video in the middle of 2026. And I have one sister 2 years younger than me. When I was about 17 years old, I did an internship program to United States. I lived in a state called Arkansas for 1 year or 11 months with the host family. And it was a great experience, and I managed to learn English, or to improve my English. I have an accent now. Back then I didn't have. I don't know where this accent comes from. Back then I was speaking really good. And then afterwards I came back to Brazil. I started the university and I finished, and then I started looking for a job in my last year of the university. And I got a job in a company offering network services. It was a small company. Back then we didn't really configure any devices. The service that we were offering were more like consulting services, how they can improve their business, and also how to cut some costs. So it was a little bit technical, but still not that much, let's say like this. I started there as an intern in the last year of my university, and then I kept working there for 3 or more years. At the university, I graduated as a telecommunication engineer. Then I got an opportunity to come to Germany, do a master program, and there was my door, let's say, to come to Europe. And I came with the idea, okay, let's see how it goes. If it doesn't work, I come back. Let's see how it goes. And then here I directly liked Europe. I like the easiness to travel around the countries. The countries are not so big. And in my opinion, they have such different cultures in each one. So you get in the train, you travel 2 hours and you're in Paris. It's a different language, it's a different culture, different food. And this is something that I really liked. And also the security of Europe. Compared to Rio de Janeiro, Europe is a lot safer. So in the end of my master program, I started looking for a job because I wanted to stay more. And it took me a while. I looked more or less for 1 whole year for a job. And I get the feeling that I was getting to the interviews. I made maybe 20, 30 interviews in this year. And for some of them, I got really close to getting the job, but somehow it wasn't the time yet. And the rejection came. And I got the feeling that it was hard for them to understand what experience I had already in networking. And I think also counted that I was coming from a country outside of Europe. That was hard for them to put themselves in my shoes, let's say like this, working for a company somewhere in South America, a small company with, I think we were maybe 15 people back then. And then it came to a point that I said, okay, I think the problem lies on my credibility, on what I am explaining that I did. So I decided to take a CCNA back then. It was a certificate from Cisco. And after I got this certificate, it was the last job interview and I got the job. So it was really this little thing that switched, and then the credibility was there. I remember that I got to the interview and they saw that I had a CCNA. They were like, wow, you have CCNA, you'll be the first one here with a certificate in our company. And they really appreciated that. And it was a company was doing some jobs for external companies. So it was like kind of like a consulting company or managed services. And they saw that some customers were asking for some certifications from the people working in this company. So for them it was a plus to hire me with a certificate already. So I got this job. I worked there for 4 years. When I came to the master program, I was in Berlin. So I was about 3 years in Berlin, and then 4 years in Hamburg, which is the second biggest city after Berlin in Germany, still in the north. And I worked there for 4 years. And then in this time, I met my wife. Back then was not my wife, of course. And she got a job somewhere else in Germany, or close to Germany. It was actually in France, but it was directly close to the border. And then I moved this job, moved to another one to be closer to her. And In total, I've worked for 5 companies more or less in Germany, smaller ones, bigger ones. I'm now in my 5th one, yeah, that's it. And I've been working for the company where I'm now for about 3.5 years. And where I work now is a small company, about 20 people, that we also offer services for external clients. At this company, I work a lot from home, and I go there about 2 to 3 times a month. And it's about 100 kilometers or 60 miles from my place. I live in the south of Germany, close to the border to France, and I've been living here in this city for about 12 years, more or less. And about 8 years ago, we bought a house, and I'm getting to this subject because I want to also it has to do with the explanation why I was away for so long. I live with my wife and our 3 kids. And one big reason why I was away for so long is that we had some house renovation. I was not doing everything by myself, but some stuff we decided that we would do, some easier stuff. I'm not a guy that would be able to renovate the whole house by myself, but some things I do manage to do. And this was something that stole a lot of my time in the last months. Now we are getting to the end, and now I told myself, okay, I need to go back to focusing on the videos. Plus, we had some, like our kids are 12, it's a girl, 9 is a boy, and then 6 is a girl. So at the time of the video, middle of 2026, these are their ages. And the little one, 6 years old, she broke her leg, and she stayed about 3 months with the cast. It was 1 month with the cast all the way to her hip. So we needed to help her to go to the bathroom and for her to move. After that, she changed for one that she could bend her knee at least. And she was more mobile. But in the beginning, it was a little bit hard conciliating all this. Plus my wife also changed her job, and the job that she's now is more demanding. So it was a time that was, let's say, very time demanding. So I came to the point now that I said, okay, I need a system that I manage to start making the videos again. Because back then, also with the house renovations, it's hard for you to find a place, because you need a place for you to make the videos with some kind of background. I have this one here, is not the prettiest one in the world, but it will do. But with the renovation that we were doing, a lot of stuff were in the rooms where we sleep and where the kids sleep. In the meantime, I remember that I tried to make like a little studio in my big daughter's room. But every time that I wanted to start a video, it was a long process to set up everything. So many times I noticed, okay, I have like a 1 hour window or 2 hours window. I knew that I would take half an hour for me to set up everything with the lights and with the curtains that I wanted to close and stuff. It kind of demotivated me. There was this big friction for me to start. So this time now, I took one day, I was on a walk thinking, okay, how can I find a system that I managed to make these videos? And I was thinking, okay, I need something that I come and it's maximum 5 minutes is everything set up for me to start. Cannot be more than that. And I need to start batching some videos. There was a system that I kind of found. I'm gonna try this system. I'm starting today. This is the first video in my, let's say, my new system. I'm gonna do my best that it works. Also, of course, it's my interest to make more videos. Maybe let's jump to the topic, why I'm starting to make videos anyway. My first video that I posted on YouTube, or my first videos, was a plural, or 5 back then. It was in October 2022. And I remember back then that I saw another video recommending you, when you start a new YouTube channel, that you don't post one video and wait for 2 weeks to post the next one, that you post 35. So I made 5 videos, prepared them, and I published them all together. And this was in October 2022. I remember one of the motivations that I had to start a YouTube channel was to share my knowledge. I taught sometimes in my companies where I was before to some interns, and I noticed that I liked that. I enjoyed teaching them. I got some good feedbacks on the way that I explained back then, that I managed to explain technical stuff in terms that people understand. I was surprised. I didn't know that I could do that, but apparently the feedbacks came positive. And this was one of the motivations that I had. The second motivation was also networking or getting to know new people in this area. The reachability of videos or YouTube, it's amazing. You reach the whole world. Some videos that I see today, I noticed there was a video that I have, the most viewed one, has 119,000 views. And I think, how would I be able to reach so many people if I was maybe here locally? It would not be possible. So this was also one motivation to make some networking. If one day I need to look for a new job, for example, I have some proof online that I know the stuff, that I also know how to teach. And I think if I go to an interview and I say, okay, I have a YouTube channel, I have about 30, 40, I don't know how many videos I have currently, there will be a big differentiator. If somebody is interviewing you or 3 other people and they're like, which ones? They will remember me. They remember me as the YouTube guy. Yeah, kind of funny, but I know that I would stand out a little somehow. And this was the second motivation. It's for free, the stuff that we post, no? We don't need to pay. Of course, for the equipment, yes. But in my opinion, this is, let's say like this, a cheap investment of my time. And one third motivation, of course, was the ability later on to monetize my internet presence. One thing that I actually maybe forgot to mention was my professional path, maybe, how I ended up being a security engineer. As I mentioned before, I started with the CCNA. It means that I started with the Cisco switching and routing. I came from this, let's say, networking side, went through wireless LAN, and also starting with the security, maybe with my second or third company in Germany. And slowly I was coming more to the security side and leaving behind the routing and switching or the typical Cisco world. Until I got to my last company, the one that I'm now, where I only work with Palo Alto files, let's say 90% of the time. I also do some other products, but no routing and no switching anymore, and no wireless LAN. The one before this one, I was also working with the Palo Alto file, but was maybe 40% Palo Alto, 30% switching and 30% routing, maybe, or more switching than routing, but it was more or less a mix. Proxy, but now Palo Alto is my main area of work. And I think that's it, guys, for this video. I hope you got some more insight on who I am personally. I'm not just this guy showing some tutorials behind your screen or your smartphone. And I hope you got some idea of me as a person, who I am, how I got here. And I'm really gonna try to release one video per week, at least one long form video per week, so you can get some more insights in the Palo Alto configuration. But I'm really glad I am restarting to do videos again. I missed you guys, I missed your comments, I missed your feedbacks regarding the videos. If something I can improve, let me know in the comments if you want me to improve something in my videos, in the way that I explain. And there's also one more thing that I was preparing during the time that I was, let's say, offline. Something that I don't want to disclosure now, but I'm gonna be mailing some of the people in my mailing list. And if it works out, you're gonna be hearing in the next videos about this product that I'm working on. And that's it for today, I guess. I hope to see you in the next video. It's gonna come next week, the next one, again, with the technical explanation of some firewall configuration, and I hope to see you there, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for the understanding of me being away for so long. I apologize for that also, because I think I have some responsibility towards you also. And I hope to see you in the next one. Nice being back again. Bye-bye.